This was Gordon Rideout in his 30s when he should have gone to jail. But instead he was allowed to continue working with children for more than 40 years. The majority of abuse may have happened here at Ifield Hall in the early 60s, but there were further allegations. By 1965, Rideout became a chaplain at a Barnardo's home in Barkingside. In court, he was accused of abusing a young boy there, but was cleared of the offence. Well, I should point out that no fracking has actually taken place here in Balcombe, but there has been drilling. Now, if oil deposits are found, further tests will be needed to establish whether the fracking process should be used to extract it. Let's hope that's what this planning application will achieve.
Rebecca, what have the RMT been saying?
Well, they've released a statement on their website saying it's with deepest regret that Bob Crow died in the early hours of this morning. These offices here will remain closed for the rest of the day, and they say they will release more information in due course. But clearly a very sombre atmosphere down here today. A gross breach of trust by a respected teacher. Have you got anything to say to the girl's family, Mr. Forrest?
Jeremy, buddy.
Jeremy Forrest developed a sexual relationship with his 15-year-old pupil, who he went on to abduct. And today the teenager decided to give evidence in court rather than via video link. She said she'd initially planned on running away herself because she'd had problems at home and was feeling vulnerable. But she later said she'd managed to convince Jeremy Forrest to flee with her, even though he'd been reluctant to do so.
We can see the protesters or supporters behind you.
Well, that's right. Caroline Lucas arrived here this morning to cheering crowds of around 100 people. Like you say, you can see them here behind me. Many have been waving placards, there's been music and general support, I think, for the Green MP. Good evening. In the last hour, the Ministry of Justice has confirmed an incident's taking place involving a number of inmates at Maidstone Prison following reports of a riot. National resources have been deployed to deal with the incident at the Kent jail. A spokesperson has said it's confined to one wing.
Rebecca, is it clear yet what caused this disturbance?
Well, a spokesperson from the Prison Officers Association says there has been tension here at Maidstone for quite some time. He said, having spoken to people on the ground, he believes that the majority of people involved were foreign inmates. Good evening. A pedestrian who died after a collision with a police car in Hastings has been named as James Sutton. The 46-year-old died at the scene last night in the White Rock area of the town. The Independent Police Complaints Commission is now investigating. Our correspondent Mark Norman has this report. Things kick off here in the next 10 minutes. As you can see, the VIPs have already started to take their seats. This year for Comic Relief, we persuaded 14 people to do stand-up comedy here. None of them have ever before performed in public. Now, tomorrow is the 50th anniversary of the broadcast of the first ever episode of Doctor Who. And we're celebrating with a special event tonight. We're screening that very first episode at the King's Hall in Herne Bay.
It was mental.
Was it? Was it mental?
It was ream.
Oh, babes.
The Only Way is Eastbourne, a new spoof modelled on its Essex equivalent. The main difference being this show's based on the lives of pensioners rather than the tanned young things in Towie.
I actually feel a little bit hungover from last night.
So, Albert, how do you feel about being featured in this spoof?
Oh, I love it. I'm a proper superstar now.
That's it from the Lunchtime team. Polly and Rob are back tonight at 6:30. Hope you can join them. Bye for now.